Greetings, YouTube, and welcome to the Blue Corner. Now, as much as I would love to give you guys a deck profile of my updated Disaster Dragon, I don't have an updated Disaster Dragon because I'm still testing out some things. You saw that in one of my recent Dueling Network videos, and I do have, I think, another video of the deck in action against 6 Samurai. I just can't remember if I opened Future Fusion or not, and perfectly honest, every time I open with Future Fusion, a part of me dies because it's like, oh, I won because of Future Fusion. I didn't win because my deck did what it was supposed to do. Yeah. It's kind of why I kind of want the card banned in a way, so that I won't have that crutch, or people won't have that crutch and say, oh, you won because of Future Fusion, your deck is so yucky. Says the Light Swarm player who tops into Blackluster Soldier and then tops Monster Born and Dark Hole and gets upset when I Monster Born as Chaos Sork and remove his soldier, and yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so instead I'm just going to share with you guys some of the things that I've come across while testing out some ideas, why I did some changes to my build, and just give you guys just an overall what's flowing around my head. So, I was originally playing around the Master Dragon build with Totem Dragon and Lad, but at this point, Lad, as much as I hate saying it, is starting to become easily played around because decks can just simply get one of his negates and then summon a 2500 beater and kill it. We are now at the point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where 2500 attack monsters are summoned with such ease that if you have anything on the field with less than 2500 attack, you damn well better have protection, or it better have some kind of effect that will make it so that it will not die to those 2500 beaters. Which is crazy. I remember when Lejin, the mystical genie, or whatever his name was, like Lejin, he was a beast beater. Whoa, those were the days. Or I remember when Battle Ox was like pretty decent. 1700. How I miss thee. But anyway, so instead I dropped those, and I'm running an anti-meta build, and that is signified with, let me just grab them. I've got Double Veiler, and right now I'm testing Double Doomcal. These may or may not become Double Thunder Kings. I just have to play around with both. The reason why I'm running Doomcal is he is effect negation in a damage step, and I currently do not have Forbidden Chalice in the deck. And I just wanted to keep my monster count fairly high. I like having a 19 to 20 monster count Disaster Dragon deck. I don't like going lower than that because then I never see monsters. I just end up drawing 3 MST, 3 Lances, and my opponent has a 1900 beater that I just can't get rid of. I'm like, ugh, why can't I top deck a dragon? So, yeah. So, Doomcal is, yeah, he's just effect negation, and yes, he dies to a Veiler, he dies to a Maxi, he dies to hand traps. But that's only if your opponent really does that, and do they really want to burn their hand trap on a Doomcal when I've got much more dangerous cards in my deck? You want to use a Veiler on my Doomcal just so that you can't Veiler my Darkness Metal when you're losing, and you could stave off just a 2800 attack for the turn, but not over 3000 damage? You want to burn a Maxi when you could use it in response to my Monster Reborn or my Darkness Metal, or when it's really inconvenient to me? Fine, go ahead, burn your hand traps then. Honestly, I think it's just a bad play to Veiler or Maxi a Doomcal. That's one less hand trap for the opponent to deal with. But otherwise, though, he does what I really want him to do, and that is I want my opponent to try and get rid of it, because he's a problem. He prevents floaters and recruiters from doing what they want to do. If you're reading a Rai-Oh, you summon the Doomcal, you beat it over, he gets no effect, he gets no mill, and if you've already got a Koa'ki Drago out in the field, Drago is not getting popped. And that's the reason why I like Doomcal. He's a nice partner for Koa'ki Drago. With your spells and traps, you can protect Drago from shit like Prison, Dark Hole, TT. With Doomcal, you can protect him from Rai-Oh, you can protect him from Trooper crashing into it and such forth. So I just think they're a really nice tandem, and if you need Drago out the field, you can just overlay them to make Koa'ki Dragon and do stuff. Effect Veiler is obvious. You kind of like need it so that you don't get blown out. It's sad to say, but true. And as far as Thunder King goes, I just happen to think that I mean, people complain about how Doom Cal is easily played around. How is he any more easily played around than Thunder King? I mean, he dies to monster effect destruction. Your opponent can Trooper Ram it. Your opponent can Dragonfly Hornet it. They can do a lot of things to kill Thunder King. I think both cards are good. Both cards are equally weak. It's just this card can stop special summons. This card can stop effects that happen anywhere. So, I mean, in a perfect world, I would run all of them. I would run 2 T-King, 2 Doom Cal, and 3 Dragos. Just, I don't have the deck space for that. I'll see. I mean, I'm not 100% on Doom Cal. I might take it out for T-King. I might take it out for Vice Dragon. I might take it out for other stuff. It's just, that's my reasonings behind it. So, this card. Don't run 2 anymore. I mean, one reason is I'm not running Light and Darkness Dragon anymore because he's easily beaten around, as mentioned before. And he hates being hit by Veiler. And honestly, that's another reason why I kind of want them to Veiler my Doom Cal, so that they'll not Veiler this. So, as I mentioned before, I switched it up to an anti-meta Disaster Dragon that basically tries to just keep pace with this meta, and it does so in a couple interesting ways. One of which is that I'm teching a Hieratic Dragon of Gebeb. This is a new trick that I picked up from talking with Awakened Zero, and the idea is that you can utilize this effect to beat over monsters, and you can pull out dragons from your deck, which in turn allows you to make fast succeeds. You've got Koa'ki Dragon, you've got Queen Dragon Din, you've got your other rank 4s, Maestroke, Utopia, Roach, Photon. You got all these really good Xyz. And the obvious target for his special summon would be Alexandrite Dragon, because it's a 2000 normal dragon, right? That's true, but I feel the better choice is Luster Dragon, because he's wind. And that's very important for when you have fields of Koa'ki Drago out, and your opponent has a set monster. They set their monster because they don't have much else to do. Get out of Gebeb and punish them by beating over that monster and then pulling out a Luster Dragon from your deck. And then during your main phase 2, you can do a couple things. You could just sit on this field and keep yourself with a chump blocker, or you can overlay these two to make Koa'ki Dragon, and on your next turn you get a double attacker alongside your Koa'ki Drago. This is also useful for the late game, where you and your opponent are top decking, they set a monster, it's probably a Veiler that they drew that they have no use for. You get this guy, and you drop it down, you beat over Veiler, you get a Luster Dragon, main phase 2, overlay for Queen Dragon Jin, and then you detach your Luster Dragon to get out your Darkness Metal, if it's in the graveyard, or say you already made it once and it got destroyed. Stardust Dragon. Now your Stardust can't be destroyed by battle, and Stardust Dragon's effect resolves off field, so if they try and dark hole your shit, you'll like get rid of Stardust, he'll come back, and then just kind of goes from there. All in all, this is a very nice card. I only own one at the moment. I'm getting 2 more, so I'm probably going to try and see if I can fit 2 in because he's just so good. And I think once the ban list comes, the format will slow down enough to the point where this guy will just become even better, especially as we get more Xyz monsters out. And speaking of which, as I just briefly mentioned, Koa'ki Dragon is now legal for play, and this is very important to the deck, as it now gives you a go-to rank 4 Xyz monster that you can make while you control Koa'ki Drago, because he's an Earth. Again, this is very, very, very important, as there will be those times where your opponent, you're playing a deck that like has a really high defender set, like say it's like a 6 Samurai Koa'ki that they switch to defense, and you manage to like keep them from doing their shenanigans. So they're sitting on that. You've got Drago here. You're like, well, I need to get over that big monster. What do? I can't make a Utopia. I can't do stuff like that. Well, with Koa'ki, you now can normal summon another monster, and you can overlay with Drago to make a rank 4 that can be summoned again while you control Drago. And what's really important is, because he's a dragon, you can now remove it from the game, do special summon Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon from your hand, and then his effect will get you back Koa'ki Drago. You lose some card advantage, but you also make a gigantic play because now you got your big summoner and you've got your Koa'ki Drago to shut off Gores, Trag, and BLS, and all you gave up was just one monster from your extra deck, and his ability to attack twice is also pretty useful, but that's just something I picked up while I was facing someone. Like, they chained my Drago, and I had a Wyvern and a Darkness Metal in hand. I'm like, I think I can push for game, it's just I need to do something with the Phoenix Chain. Oh, wait a minute, I summon Wyvern, overlay, Koa'ki, banish, Darkness Metal, get Drago, attack for game. And it was a clever play, I thought. So, yeah, having Koa'ki Dragon around is a very nice addition to the Disaster Dragon extra deck. Him and Queen Dragon will be seeing play for quite some time. Alright, and now to talk about cards that I was running, but I ultimately took out because I just did not care for them. The first one would be Safe Zone. I was running this with the intention of using it to protect Koa'ki Drago as much as I could, from stopping it from Prison, Dark Hole, TT, that kind of stuff, but ultimately I just figured Forbidden Lance is a better card and it could be played on my turn. I mean, Safe Zone's alright, but I wanted something that's just more useful without having to need a monster. I mean, Compulsory Evacuation Device seems like it would be a better card to run than Safe Zone because it's something you can use in response to a problem monster. It's just, yeah, Safe Zone's good. It's just, I think there's better stuff. Fiendish Chain. I was running this too. I kind of want to put it back in. I am heavily debating on if I want to keep the Pot of Dualities you saw me play before. I mean, the reason why I was running Pot of Duality was because I felt that my deck was not very consistent, but I was also trying to fit in Doom Cows, a Veiler, and Pulsar Dragon, and that just did not work out. And so I took out the Pulsars and other stuff to fit in Duality, so we'll see. I also kind of want to like run a pair of Compulse and a Gores, since I'm not running Totem, so I can like run Gores and like not get OTK'd, possibly. The other card I'm talking about, and one I feel really bad about hyping so much, would be Betrayed Connection. This was a card I talked about very, very highly of in my Galactic Overlord preview video, and ultimately this card has just kind of flopped on me. I mean, it's a good card, and I think it might be more suited to like a higher monster build type of Disaster Dragon, or even a Hieratics. It's just, if you're running around 18 monsters, this kind of just sits there in your hand and you're just waiting for a monster to draw so you can use it. But that monster you draw might be more useful than just swapping it out for a card and not taking the neg. It's just every time I drew this card, and I drew it fairly frequently and in multiples, I'm like, this could be a Duality, or this could be a Sarko. This could be this spell card that I mentioned that is much more useful in the situation because it's a standalone draw. So, I mean, it's an alright card, and maybe it'll become more useful in the future, but right now, I just don't like it. And thank God, though, it's not that expensive, so anyone who bought it didn't waste a whole lot of money on it. I hope. As mentioned before, Lance, yeah, run 3 of those. You run your other typical cards. I mean, my spell and trap lineup is hardly any different from before. I just took out Chalices because I'm running Doom Cows. Your essential 7 traps are Bottomless, TT, and the Solemn Brigade. Those are your definite cards you want to run in your trap lineup. After that, you can run Prison, you can run Chain, you can run Compulse. Player preference. The other thing I want to talk about is the side deck. Since the last time I did this video, certain cards have become favorable, certain cards have not. Furthermore, Final Countdown is a threatening deck. I don't like Final Countdown, and neither does Jinzo. You bring in Jinzo against Final Countdown to stop their traps, which is a big part, and then while that's going on, you try to make Scrap Dragon to blow up their other cards, and then just proceed to be faced. Chalice, if you're going up against a deck you think is going to side in Royal Decree, bring in Chalice, and then use Chalice to negate effects while Decree is up. Important thing to note, though, that some decks are starting to run Imperial Iron Wall in their side deck, i.e. Inzectors and Dragunity, so watch out for those, because they might cut off your Darkness Metal and Wyvern plays. Shadow Mirror, that's the obvious one. Prisons, if you're not maining them, you should be siding them. It's great for Heroes and Rabbits and the Mirror and Chaos Dragons. Dust Tornado to stop shit like Macro, Fissure. Gotta be careful with one thing about Rabbit, and that is they main deck Macro now. Soul Taker, Smashing Ground's obsolete. And Victoria, I don't know if I want to run this or if I want to put in Electric Virus. I mean, they both do the same thing. They take dragons, and then you use that dragon's effect and then remove it for Darkness Metal and Troll Face them. It's just this works while Macro and Fissure are up. Electric Virus doesn't use a normal summon. So there are pros and cons to both. Like I said, this is far from finalized. I have to see what works, if I want to put in the Gorzes or not, if I'm going to keep the Doom Cows. I did not like Light Pulsar Dragon in here, though. I mean, it was good for when it went off. It's just that you can't really tack a Pulsar Dragon into the disaster. You kind of have to like rebuild your entire deck around it, and I didn't want to do that. If I wanted to build a deck around Pulsar, I'd run Chaos Dragons, and that defeats the entire purpose of this. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've really got to say. Other notable things is you should be running Colossal Fighter in your extra deck, because if your opponent's like Herder or Darkness Metal plus Dark Iron Field, you're like beat over, someone 28. And Thought Ruler is good for stopping Lance, Prison, and Compulse. So, otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I mean, I'll try and like do an actual profile at some point in the next month. I do want to do at least one more deck profile since Assassin Dragon before the format is over, and I just gotta fine tune this. I will say though, in that if I were going to Nats, this is definitely the deck I would run in there. It would either be this or Hieratic Dragon, and in the end, this is the deck I'm most comfortable with. It's always been my favorite Dragon deck, and it always will be for a long time to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching. Until the next time, take care.